You can't call me out like that, Solis. You just can't. You just can't call me out like that. Hello, Shrimplings! Welcome! It seems that my webcam problem has been fixed. I do have another one in the mail. Right now I'm using my phone with a USB cable. So hopefully that works. Like, connected directly to my pewter. Hopefully that makes it better. Hello, everyone! How are you doing this Saturday? Woo! I see Kira, as always. Apparently, Kira has been on stream chat since Thursday. When I posted the thumbnail and stuff, like for the schedule. and they've been logging all of their days on it. Thank you so much, Kira. They're really after that #1 spot. I see Abraham. Hi, Abraham. Welcome. I see Preds. Hi, Preds. Fumi. Hello, Fumi. We actually have your drawing right here. You're gonna be the first one today. I see Gabe. Hello, Gabe. Welcome to the chat. I see Lord Trav. Oh, hello. That's a rare sight. A kitty cat. Maybe all of the stray streams. All of the stray streams invoked you. Can I call you out? No, you can't. Hello. Oh, hi, Lat. Welcome. You're also here in this stream. If you guys haven't heard, Lat is taking like I don't know. I mean, like, how could we describe it, Lat? Because I want to believe that you're still gonna draw, just not as often and as present in social media as you usually do. On July 10th, Lad is gonna go on a journey to see what else the life has for him. But we still have your drawing here, Lad. We still have your drawing here. I saw it and I know exactly because I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I know exactly the kind of effect that you try to replicate. So I'm excited to get to that one as well. Bro, ew, this art is so ugly. Get it off my screen. No, it's not ugly. It's not ugly at all. Why are you saying that? But art fight is lame. I don't want to do the setup. I tried art fight like once and it just wasn't my thing. So the theme for today, as I am plugging in my tablet and I'm putting on my glove that my tracker hates. Glove is on. Oh yeah. Aha. It's switching arms now. The topic that I saw, that it's pretty much like a given, ending the chapter to Latitude art. Ah, very ominous. Very ominous, Mr. Latitude. That's very good PR. Very good PR. Sending hugs for Lat. Yeah, he's right here in chat. It's okay. I'll be retiring from drawing on July 10th. Oh, like forever? Like for real? What? No way. I thought you were just like, you know, just not gonna post as much as you. Show the collab that you helped in. You silly Halloween. Oh yeah. Oh my god. I hope it's okay for stream. Listen, my little shrimplings. I might be your big sister, but I'm also very corny and very crass and vulgar. So check this out. This is a collab. You're right, Kira. Thank you for reminding me. This is a collab that we all worked in. By all, I mean it's Sorry, Lemon, B-Boy, Kira, obviously, Kira Nukis, and me. It's for Jason's birthday. Jason, the killer with the hockey mask. And it's kind of like a beach party where he suddenly crashes in and scares us all. Here it is. Let me put it in big. Let me zoom it in. Yeah. Wow! It's so cool, Kira. You did awesome. This is my Halloween feat. This is inspired. It's inspired by Michael Myers. He's my favorite slasher ever. I just think it's so cool how he always remains, you know, silent, and I guess Jason too, but you know, Michael Myers doesn't need to show off or anything. He just straight ahead to the mission, you know, to the to the goal in mind. The goal in mind. It scares us all, and half of them don't even give a fuck. I know. I was looking at it, and I was like, I don't think they're all that cool, man. I don't think you're that cool. That's why I drew myself freaking the fuck out. Because if it's actually Jason, I'd be like, what the heck? What the heck, man? And then Amaya is just like, gulp. Kira, I really like how you drew Ash. Kind of like it's like a cool anime. I know that in Ash's lore, we talked about it yesterday. Jason was like her first crush. So she's like, oh wow, what? But in a more like, what are you doing here? Rather than like how I am. Sorry, playing it cool as well. It's like they haven't noticed, and I'm like the first one to notice. And Lemon, I forgot Aloe. I think it's Aloe. It's like just noticing and stuff, but I'm like the first one. But yeah, check it out. I'm gonna link this in the Discord so you guys can see it with more detail. And I'm also gonna upload my part of the collab. I guess I'll put it in Popi posts, even though it's not my post. Jason's birthday collab. I'm posting it. Everyone's talking in chat about latitude. Basically, want to end this chapter of my life and move on to other aspects, especially spend more time with loved ones and friends in real lives. Inficat, hi Inficat, welcome. Yeah, that's I think that's completely valid, especially because once you're drawing for social media like that, it really tends to suck up a bunch of your time, and not even like the time that is spent like drawing per se, but also the time that you have to spend mentally, right? All of the times that you're kind of like there but not there when you're hanging out, or you're even trying to relax and stuff, and you have to force yourself to come up with all of these drawing ideas. I think it's really hard. I'm happy that you're taking your retirement, lad. Maybe, I don't know, I mean, I want to be hopeful. I think your art has inspired a lot of people in the community and in general. I want to be hopeful that this doesn't mean that you will stop creating. Maybe just that you can always come back to it if you want, because like I said, it's just you were always there, man. It's kind of weird it's gonna be weird not having you there. I see Patty. Oh, hi Patty, welcome to the chat. Respectable decision, lad. Good luck in advance for where you'll go. Yeah. I think it's important to also find out when things aren't working out, and not think of it as a failure, but more of an exploration, right? Like you went there, you tried it, something happened, and now you're ready to try new things. I wish you the best of luck, lad, and I know all of us in chat do as well. Anita knows ball chat. And yes, I can always come back if I have the chance in the future. Gracias, Anita. Thank you, lad. I can't do a heart with my hands, but imagine it. Imagine that I'm doing it right here. Popik. Oh, hi, Tom. Welcome. Popik. Popik is definitely a word. Pig with Poppy. It's like epicary, epic, and legendary. You guys remember that? Or don't you? Fumi art. Yeah. Okay. So, to begin with the stream, the topic that I saw that all of the submissions for this week had in common, most of them, is about light. Light and the importance of it. The importance of using it properly, right? Because, like it or not, you can have really cool rendering, you can have a really cool pose with a really cool character, but if you don't take care of making your light source be coherent, like if you don't have a care for that, it might break the immersion for some people. Now, I say it may, because it's not a given. Especially in anime art, a lot of it is rule of cool. Like I've always said, like we've always talked in these streams, right? And when you're doing anime and stylized art, what's gonna break all of your fundamentals is basically, does this look cool right here? And it would look, boring if it was normal. then that's how you know that you're supposed to break the rule. Everybody, everyone that I've learned from is like, you have to learn the fundamentals, but you also have to know when to break them. And that's basically the one and only rule on how to know when you're gonna break them. Does it look cool? Does it look cute? Does it help the message that you want in your drawing more than if it looked correctly, right? Is it exaggerating? Is it conveying the message better? Is it, funny? Is it cool? Is whatever, right? That's when you know that you have to break the rule. Am I just blending mode slop? No, the blending modes can be really helpful, especially when you're doing a scene like this. This scene is drawn by Fumi Yuma. Let me look up your socials, Fumi, your at, because I know it has like a lot of letters. And I can't. So this art is drawn by at Fumi, well, not at, it's Fumi Yuma. And you're at Fumi Slop. It's not Fumi Slop. Fumi's a great artist. Fumi. Aha, okay. And her at is at Fumi, and then W, and then Ma, double A, and an underscore on Twitter. Now, Fumi, as I have it understood, is very young. I'm not gonna dox your age on stream, Fumi, because you don't have it listed on your profile publicly anymore. Fumi is very young, and I see that she has taken a lot of care to slander. Oh, I hate Fumi. No, we don't hate Fumi. She's taken a lot of care to learn how to render. As I have it understood, Sacheli has also like taught her some of the stuff that she knows. Hello, Chad. Hi, Jose. Welcome. Welcome. She has gotten the holy grail of every digital artist, right? Being at least 1 year old. Yeah, at least one. Fumi's at least 1 year old. She's gotten the artist holy grail of having an AI accusation thrown at her, and she had to show all of her process and stuff on TikTok. Fumi is a Sacheli apprentice. I'm not sure. Now, don't go around with, sending messages to Sacheli and stuff. But as I have it known, they had the opportunity to connect. And Fumi even got like some brushes from Sacheli and stuff. So yeah, but, I think most of the time, in order to get the youngest person ever, probably actually in this chat. I'm not sure. I don't know all of you guys' ages, but behave. PG-13. Most of the time it's just really just breaching the gap, breaking the gap, like closing the gap between you and the person that you admire. Try to send them a message, don't be too pushy and stuff, and see if they respond. Because most of the time, I think a lot of us digital artists, we tend to be like kind of the same type of person. Very for art in general, you have to put a lot of time into it and not do a lot of things, which is exactly why Lad is retiring. If we're maybe kind of meek, maybe kind of shy, maybe we have a little bit of trouble making friends or something. So sometimes all that it takes is just send them a message and see what's up and be like, hey man, I really admire your art. Can you share any tips that you have with me? Or how do you do this? Right? And most of the time, I think if the person is not like full of themselves, they'll help you. They'll help you out. Let me open the window because my model is like blinking like crazy. And I think it's because it's super gloomy right now outside. So, okay. Just like that. Let there be light. Let there be light. Just like the stream. I use the damn brush from her so much. This actually hairpin technology. Looks like me and Fumi is the youngest. I think so. I don't know. I don't want you guys, especially if you're super young, to start telling your ages in chat. Let's be mindful. Let's be safe together. I'm a shrimp fetus, says Fumi. So, yeah, as you can see, the rendering is really cool. I can see clearly, even from afar, all of these characters. I think it's awesome. All of them have their own unique poses that maybe tells us a little bit of their interaction. We have these two that look, you know, like she looks like she's chasing him. She's pulling her. She's probably like shy, right? And she's like the star of the show, maybe the main character or something. The very mindful ones, and the one that the jacks. I always, ever since I watched the Digital Circus, I name characters like my characters from other medias, like what I perceive them to be, and in every single like cartoon or show or anything, there's the jacks. The jacks. He's even like purple eyes. Right? It's always the non-interest, the nonchalant. Back in my day, maybe this could be the Sasuke. The Sasuke's of the world. You know, I like that you have your post language be very clear in that you know exactly how these characters behave. As I have it understood, this is splash art for a mod or a video game that you guys are working on, right? I'm 5.7 seconds young. Oh, so tiny. Oh, so precious. Estás chiquito. I also like that their fashions tells us a little bit more, right? We have the cool delinquent guy. He has a choker here. He's stolen something from the cool Gyaru girl, right? And her hair is like super bright color. This is like the most cleaned up one. She almost has no accessories other than her hair thing. So we know that she's the responsible, Genki one, fight to the yo type. We got the shy one. She's always clumsy, right? Getting into trouble. She also has 2 different colored eyes. That's interesting. Maybe it's like double personality thing. You have the quiet ones, right? The dark hair is a big giveaway. The dark hair is a big symbol. You watched the Amazing Digital Circus finale in theaters. Please try not to tell us about spoilers. Don't worry. I did go to see it. But I'm not gonna talk spoilers. I'm really waiting for the release on YouTube so I can rewatch it because it was deeply upsetting. Oh, hi Roya. Hope I'm not too late. You're not. Welcome. And this is like the I see his little bracelets, right? And he's like the cool, like silent type. Maybe like a Wattpad type, like a fanfic type. He's gonna be the one that sees you in the library and goes, huh, I never see you around in here, right? Rather than be in his book and be all shy, he'd approach you and be like, huh, you read too? You also like to read? El chico que se parece mucho a Pomni apareció. Pomni ends up in Fortnite. Oh, that was awesome. That trailer was super good. And then the jacks, right? The non-interested guy that's taking his distance. He's the only one looking this way. But he's also a part of the group. If you notice, the gap between these two is not that big. He also wants to be included. Anyway, I see this piece and I really, really like it. I know that you also started using 3D models for your anatomy and stuff. I think that's helped a lot. I've seen your art grow a lot. I think it's important, you know, that not only you take care of your renders, but also of your anatomy. And I see that you've been able to be doing that very good with the 3D models. I also see that this is something I love to see so much. You're respecting the always show hands rule. It just gives a lot, you know. If we see every character has hands, you stop hiding your hands. Thank God. Well, this one's still hidden. You should have put it like here as well. But you know, hands. I love that you took that challenge. And I think it gives a lot more to your drawing. It helps us read this a lot more as a professional splash art. I rely on those heavily. Oh yeah. Now, what is up with this piece and how can we make it how can we make it better? Or something more like hide the hands, run from the fingers. No, don't run. How can we make this better? Now, something that I'm noticing, and again, it's with the light, right? You see this at first glance, and kind of there's nothing too bad happening here, right? But the very first thing I notice, and I don't know if you guys notice too, is that the characters, the lights that they're receiving here, are orange, as if it were from like a sunset, right? Like they're coming home from school now. Finally, right? But the sky outside, all of this is blue, right? It's like, it kind of there's like a big disconnect as to why these characters look like they have really cool, you know, heavenly orange light in them, right? But the outside, the sky outside, it looks like it's in the middle of the morning. And not only that, but check out the shadows. They're on the opposite. I mean, maybe if there was another window where we're looking them in, right? But even then, the shadow would look different, right? Maybe if there was another window here, the cast shadow would be towards here. But if this is the big window and this is the... I actually made a sunset version and night version. Ah! Well, if you're doing that, you also have to change the lights of your characters. This like is kind of annoying and so orange. Hey, Apple. Speaking of collab, we have 3 crossover collabs. Wuthering Waves, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and then Amazing Digital Circus and Fortnite. And now Miraculous Ladybugs and Rabbits. Miraculous Ladybug and Rabbits? What? That sounds so weird. It doesn't sound like something Thomas Astrog would be into at all. That's insane. So, if you're gonna make versions of your light with your characters and stuff, you have to change the lights, the light color from where they're coming from, right? Because light behaves different in every like in every time, in every like hour period of the day. Let me put up a new window. New window. Right, if we go into and we put natural morning light photography. Wait, no, we see like dawn and stuff. Let's just put natural light. Right? If the sky behind us is blue, the lights are gonna be kind of like whitish and bluish as well. Let me move this around. Right? Let's make this just like this. Right? And if the sky behind us is a little bit... In here, for example, it looks orange, but not because the light itself is orange. It's because we have the bounce light from all of this orange grass. But if we look at her hair here, it's like kind of whitish as well. Especially if your sky is like as blue, right? This is another one where the sky is even white, right? The light that these characters are gonna have is also white. And it's also, if you notice, not as drastic as how it'd be if we had something like a moody light, like a sunset light, right? Because of how the sun is directed. In a sunset, the sun is like almost about to go. It's like getting filtered through all of the mountains and all of the buildings and stuff. So the light that you get from a sunset is going to be way more dramatic like this than the light that you're going to get from maybe being out in the open, right? And being hit by the sun all the way at the top in all directions. Let's put blue sky. Let's put something like blue sky portrait, so we can look at the light. Oh my god, blue sky portrait. Here it is, right? This is how someone outside with a blue sky would look like being hit by the light. As outside. If you're inside, you know, you could get a little bit more dramatic. But if you notice, it's not orange necessarily. It's just kind of like whitish, yellowish, like very, very cool type of light. So we just have to fix that. Either that or making the sky in the back orange. You know, we have that. We need to have that coherency. Besides that, let's do the changing the color real quick. It's a lot of characters, so I'm gonna try to go fast. As always, what we get here is not necessarily how the outcome should look. It's just an idea. Oh. Let's do this. Maybe to color correct, I would change it to color probably. And let's see if it works. Let's use one of these with low opacity so we can control it better. Yeah, okay, that works. You know, and we just need to change the light color. Just very quickly, very quickly. And let's put it into Linear dodge, now lighten, heart makes difference, exclusion, hue, color set. Luminosity I think could work as well. Nah, luminosity now. I think we do saturation. We can lower the saturation and it's probably gonna be okay. And let's lower the flow a little. Right, and we have to make it a little bit more neutralized. It's not that orange because the light outside from the window is not gonna be orange at all. But it's part of the light, it's part of the day, part of the sun. And you go through all of this. In reality, now that you have your layers for how you want the light to hit your characters and everything, you could duplicate them and then just change the color completely by locking in the transparency of your pixels. But yeah, you know, coherency in light, always, always, always. If your characters are out, if your characters are in what's supposed to be a daytime scene, the light and how it looks when it hits them, it's gonna change colors. This is why blending modes can be tough to use if you're doing a bunch of like different takes. And this is why maybe staying away from blending modes just for that moment, just for those, just for these kinds of works could help you a lot. Right? Look at that. Look at how it's starting to look a little bit more coherent, right? With what we have. Let's finish this one girly. Just like super orange all around, but it's also because of her hair. Just make all of this less orangey. I'm seeing also that you're mixing your bounce light with your heart light. I think it gives it a different type of polish, and I don't think it looks bad at all. But it's good to keep in mind the types of light that we have in a scene when you're putting characters in a scene like that. Okay, first, let's finish all of these guys really quickly. Right, making their light natural color. And not orangey because we're in the middle of the day. I hope my color balance comes around good in the stream because on my screen it's looking quite nicely. It's looking quite good. Right, and now we have... Oh, I forgot this leggy. And this part here. Lots of detail on these pieces, Fumi. Very well in keeping everything like super together, honestly. I always forget the feet. Feet are the bane of my existence. You got all of these really good. Right? And now we have daylight as opposed to sunset light. You see the difference? We have sunset light and now we have daylight. Sunset light, daylight. Sunset light, daylight. It's all about the colors. It's all about the color balance and having your light make sense. Daylight, sunset light. Daylight, sunset light, daylight, right? And now, right, if we're going to go with this big window that is like, now draw a horse. Hi, Coco. Welcome to the stream. If we are going to take this big window as the protagonist, right, for our scene, we should also respect the direction of the shadows that it's gonna have. Right? So let's cut out the floor out of these characters. Cut it out, cut it out. Let's remove the feet. All of this. And this. Just very quickly, very quickly. Again, like I said, what we're doing here is basically just an idea of what you should do, and you should totally give it a little bit more care. We're just going at it quickly so we can get the idea across. And this guy too. Okay. Layer, new layer, be a cut. So let's make the floor all like a normal one. I see that you made it reflective with your characters. That's pretty cool as well. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. There we go, there we go. Let's color this floor. Normal's fine. Let's put layers on top. Okay. I'm using the marquee tool for this. Use the tools at your disposal. Don't be like me. We kind of lost the texture, but, you know, we'll get it back. We'll get it back. Let's do the cool... the cool gradient that you have there. More of a pinkish. I'm not getting these colors at all. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. Alright, and we make the gradient. Because it's shiny floor, shiny floor, shiny floor. And we add, like you added here, like some shiny beams of light. Lower flow. Whoop. 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 You know, kind of burying them a little so that it's different each time. Right, and we have our shiny floor again. Sorta, kinda. Very quickly shiny floor. And like I said, we're going to speedrun. Yes, speedrun. We're going to respect. We're gonna name this new shadows. New shadows. We're gonna respect the direction of the light. We're using this big window as a reference. Why? Because it's the window that we see, right? In the scene. Like I said, maybe we can infer that there's like another window in front or something like that. But, you know, never infer. I think it kind of makes it a little bit more dramatic as well. Especially with just this guy that's like Jax type. The Jax. We have to be coherent. We have to tell our viewer there's a reason why. There's a reason why we have this big window here. It's very quickly getting the shapes and stuff. This is the leg of the Gyaru girl. And now with this guy, it's his leg. Gonna be around here. His foot. And then his leggy. And now, as the shadow grows like further away, the shadow also gets a little bit more blurry. So you can do this with by erasing it or by using the blend tool. And the faraway parts are gonna be a little bit more blurry. And the nearer parts are gonna be way more... way more like obvious. Like this, right? Soft shadow, like a shadow that's also not that dark, not that like not that obscure, not that with not a with a color that's not that dark. Why? Because we have daylight in the background, right? We have daylight, and that means that, I mean, unless the place is like super dark and doesn't have, or it's part of like maybe the setting that this is a dark place where dark things and bad things happen, like maybe we could make it a little bit darker. I think actually like that is fine. Maybe a little lighter. Yeah, just to account for the floor. And let's put the texture again for your shiny floor. Texture. I think I have a marble blush. Brush. Marble. I do. Why can't I see it? Do I need it to go darker? Oh, right. Be here. There we go. Right? Like maybe if this is a place where bad things happen and stuff, we can go even like more ham. Okay, and we named this floor. Always, you know, like layer hierarchy. Back when Fumi shared, I mentioned the depth of their positions of the floor and foot placement. I was just wondering if I was right about that. And I caught you using a multiplayer layer. The betrayal. Listen, I have to work with what I have. School is a dark place, 100% for real. The depth of the characters, maybe it's a little bit complicated to believe. Like, if we get really nitpicky about that, right? And we look at where our characters are standing, literally character by character. It's not something that you're wrong about, but it's something that it could, like, not be that consequential, because the whole point is showing them all together. If we look, for example, this is where this girl is standing. Aha. Let's use white. Aha. This is where this girl is standing, right? Like, right here. And her second foot is right around here, and it's also in the same plane as the other guy's foot, so that means that they're like maybe way too close together, right? And the guy's other foot is also like on the same, like it means that maybe they're like this is the girl and this is the guy, like literally. Maybe they look way too close if you pay too much attention to that. The guy from the window is even further from them, right? The guy laying like behind on the wall, right? His foot is all the way over here on the wall, and then he has this, and there's this big gap that's even larger than where these guys is standing. So if we look at it like from the side, it'd be like this guy's, well, from behind them, it'd be like these guys are walking literally side by side, right? And then this guy on the window is like, well, on the wall, it's like he has his leg here, and then his other leg goes all the way around here. You see that? So there is a little bit of depth, like of depth perception that's not quite right. Like this is the wall, right? And they're walking around here. This is where our other guys are walking, this part. And then this is where the other guy has his leg. He's like, fine, I'll just quit art. No, don't quit. It's little things. Again, it's also rule of cool. Your illustration, this splash art doesn't look bad, right? It looks good. Okay, so we have these guys walking here. Super close, side by side, like literally can't take a step without fumbling with each other. This guy is like all the way here, right? And then we have this girl. She's also on the same here. That's good because she's like more ahead of him. And her other foot is like around here. It has the same as this girl over here, right? And her other foot is around here on the floor. These guys are a little bit more close to the wall. That could be a little bit problematic, especially for this leg. It looks like she's just about to hit the other girl. Like, it doesn't seem like in this space she could like squeeze behind her so to not hit her, right? If she's running around, I would put these two guys either like way more in front or these girls way more in front, so that, you know, we could just have plausible deniability in the fact that they're not gonna all crash with each other, right? Because her other leg is also around here. And in this space, like I said, there's not enough space for her to squish. It's like she's going a little bit like evading the other girl. But, you know, in a way where this girl would have to be like super close, hugging the wall to not hit her, right? Or her. Or all of these guys for that matter. Or maybe she just started running right there and then without really noticing. And then this guy is on the same plane as her. And his foot is also right around here. This one, it's okay. It's like, this guy is like, they were maybe standing side by side and he stole something from her and just started taking off, right? And maybe this girl too. Like I said, we could say something about the deaths. The one that probably like jumps out the most. Rule of cool moment, exactly. The one that probably jumps out the most and that you could fix is this guy. Because there's no reason why his foot would be all the way like in front. Again, like if everyone's walking around here. Super close. And then this guy is here on the wall. And he has, you know, one of his feet back. And then the other one goes all the way here, right? Like, I would adjust this foot to be like around here as well. And that's literally just grabbing it and moving it. But that's probably the only one that bothers me most. And the one that makes everything look a little bit weird. Because why is his foot this far away? Oops. Why is his foot this far out? Right? It just kind of makes no sense. So we can try and make it make sense, right? All we have to do is just literally move it. Since he's really close to the wall, he should be way closer than the guys that are walking like right there. So I would put his foot all the way over here. Just like that. That's literally all that I would do. Then it doesn't look good. The guy on the left stole the pink hair girl hair clips. That sounds really hard to do. Unless he just yanked at her hair, right? Well, what a mean guy. What a mean motherfucker. Cut and transform tool, my beloved. Exactly. Call it the cut and transform tool, my beloved. Let's just paint this gap real quick. And we fix his shadow here. Let's put current layer. And, you know, this and this part should be dark. Oop. All layers, please. All layers, please, Photoshop. But yeah, if we wanted to get really nitpicky, this is probably the only one. And now, if you notice, all we did was that change, and suddenly everyone else kind of makes way more sense, right? We have the before and after. After. Before and after. Before and after. And now the scene kind of looks more coherent. I mean, in my way of seeing it. You guys can also say what you think in the comments, right? In here we had the shadows on the opposite way of the light source. We have our lights orange as well. New light. Let's name this new light. Right? And okay. Let me turn on the layers. And in this one, right, the lights are already the color that they should be compared to the blue sky. I didn't even notice the shadows on the original. Exactly, because, you know, like, they could be the opposite. If there was another really strong window, like, in front of them, but it would also mean that the shadows kind of don't make sense, and all of them should be lit up equally. you know? So this is before and after. Before and after. Before, with the orange and the blue and stuff, and after. And now I think it looks way more put together. We also moved the guy's foot here, right? And now everybody else's walking looks a little bit more, like I said, plausible deniability. I would probably, in the next one that you make, I would probably keep in mind, right? Literally just try standing on your floor and put markings on where you think the character should be, and then use like with tape, with masking tape or something like that, right? In a way that makes sense, that if someone's running behind someone, if someone is pulling someone else, or if someone's like against the wall and stuff, just use little markings like masking tape, or maybe even a pencil. Pencil, if you have your floors, if your floors are made of tile, you can totally use a pencil and then erase it later so that your parents don't notice it. And I would keep in mind those guidelines when you draw your characters in a scene like this that's like flat and like that we're seeing it from the side. That way, you know, it's gonna look way more realistic, and it's gonna be way more immersive for the person that looks at the original drawing. So before, we had orange lights with a blue sky that I know that it's from a sunset, right? But you should also fix, you should also change. And the shadows are on the wrong side where light hits. So we changed that. And this is how it would look like. I think, like Sully said, you know, the shadows are way more visible, and you can kind of dimension the characters better in their space, as if you're like an unassuming viewing person. For the sake of this drawing, yes, there was another window. I thought it was some spilled coffee or something. Yeah, that's also what happens, since they're so small, right? It also, like, the distance that you have the shadows at versus the distance that they're actually away from the wall. There should be shadows on the wall. If you're gonna go with that thing, that it was because there was another window. There should also be shadow. The shadows would not end here. The shadows would continue on the wall, right? Because that's how light works, right? All of the shadows, the projected shadows, would continue to the wall. I see that you kind of tried to do it here, and you kind of, I don't know what happened. I don't know why you didn't keep going. Ichika VT Sub. Hi, Ichika! Welcome back! It's in Japanese, so I can't understand it. I don't have to translate chat. Never mind, no windows. This is what I mean with make your light source be coherent. Right? Think about really how the light is going to affect your drawing. And, you know, also tweak it to your advantage. Wear subtitles. So this was it for Fumi. Really not that much another one of the changes. Maybe the biggest change that we did was moving this guy's leg right here. But other than that, rule of cool, suspension of belief, right? The factor of disbelief and stuff. I think it's still pretty good. So nice work. Nice drawing. I really like it. I really like now how it looks all serene and stuff. It reminds me of like a Saturday morning Disney cartoon. I don't know why. So that's it for Fumi. Fumi, make sense of your lights. Look into your light source. Look into how light behaves when it hits an object. Literally, every time you're outside, every time you're inside your house, and you have like a really strong window, check literally how your shadow looks, where it comes from, where it ends, how your skin looks, things like that. Expanding your mental visual library is really gonna help you a lot when you do these kinds of pieces. Right? It's not even just looking for reference. It's just remembering and learning like, so this is how it looks. Because let me tell you, the way light works with the body and its shapes and stuff, it's pretty freaky. Like there are some things that you wouldn't believe how it looks. Like the fact, like for me, the fact about proportions that I learned the most that really scared me, that really surprised me, is that the size of your thumb is around the same size as your big toe. If you try to do it right now, you're gonna notice, like if you put your thumb right next to your big toe and your foot, you're gonna see that it's about the same size. And it's like, wow, I never thought toes were that big. Just little things like that. So that's it for Fumi. Hell no. Yes, it is. It's true. Do it. Do it. From the joint and stuff. Like literally from the joint, from the base of your thumb, get it together to the joint of your toe. And you're gonna see that it's around the same size. My toe's bigger. What? That sounds like something a clown would say. I can't believe your toe's bigger. Look at that. Isn't it insane? Isn't it crazy? I didn't think toes would be that big. Anyway, that was it for Fumi's. Thank you so much, Fumi, for your submission. I hope you learned something new with this. Now let's move on to Gabe. Gabe, this is your second submission, if I remember correctly. I like that you are applying what we talked about last time with the lights, the light actually hitting the shapes. There's just a little bit of adjustments that we have to do. Now, for when you're having, I'm gonna do this like in a blank one. When you have an object, right, on top of another object, the leaf pattern brush pog. Let's do this with a 5. So we say, let's say you have a sphere, right? If we have light coming from right here, that means that the sphere is gonna be lit up on that side, right? No problem at all. The light is hitting it like this, right? But what happens when we have an object in like on top of another object? If we have a sphere and then suddenly we put something like maybe a napkin. Very good painting and very good critique too. Thank you, Impi. Right? If we have something like maybe let's put on a hat, right? Let's put on a hat on the sphere. And the hat goes around the sphere, right? And it goes here. And now let's say you have your hat. Cool hat. Now it's a face. If we have our light in the same way, the hat, and this is, you're gonna be able to see this if you literally grab ransom, like hold ransom, like hold, kidnap one of your family members, one of your friends, and be like, hey, put this on and stand right here and study how the light hits. Because what happens when you have a hat, obviously, is that the light still hits the hat, but then it has no way of reaching the face. Why? Because the hat is covering it, right? Like that's the whole point, for example, of what hats do. You have your sphere, right? And you have your hat. And the whole point is that when the light hits, it's gonna hit the hat and it's not gonna hit the person's face. Unless the light, for the light to hit his face, or the face right here, the light would need to move. And it would have to be all the way down here. And then, right, the light wouldn't hit the hat at all. Because it's being like covered by itself. It's being covered by this little flap right here. So this is the hat, right? And your light source, it's here. And it would hit all of this part, the bottom of the hat, and it would not be able to reach here. Because the hat itself is telling it to stop right at this border. Right? And this is what's happening. This is exactly what hair does as well, especially anime hair that is like super puffy and super like shape breaking. In fact, most anime artists are gonna tell you to think of the hair as another sphere, like in top of a sphere, as if it were a hat. Right? Let's say we have our cool anime hair. Wow, really? Like your hair? Yeah, like my hair, just like that. Right? If you notice, it's like right on top. And if a light were to hit me, it wouldn't really hit my brow. You can see it right here in this thumbnail. In the thumbnail that I did. Right? We have our anime girl. Let's make the anime girl face. Right? And we have, let's say she has a hair like mine. Right? That it's literally like a big bangs. And like a bob cut. Right? The hair, like, since it has puffy, and if it's like an anime girl, show forehead, you coward, never. I'm gonna turn around to my side, and you can see that the hair, the bangs protrude from my head, right? So the anime girl is gonna be here, right? And her hair is gonna protrude just like a hat. if we look at her from the side. Right? And it's exactly just like the hat. We have this part where the light is not gonna hit. Let's give our anime girl some light. So let's say that the light comes from here again and from here. Right? It's hitting them on this direction, both of them. So when we hit some light on it, we're gonna get light hit here. If it's a very like dramatic light, right? And then it's not gonna reach this part. Why? Because the hair itself is covering that part of the head as if it were a helmet, as if it were a hat, right? Now, lots of artists get around this by just, and this is a thing that you're gonna notice a lot. Let's pull out the Popi Instagram likes again. Let's go to Instagram. And let's go to my bookmarks, my saved bookmarks. So many anime artists, what they do in order to not have the face covered with a lot of shadow is literally just not shaded at all. We saw this illustration last time. There is just a little bit of shadow here where the hair touches the skin. But other than that, you see that? There's no shadow. There's just blush for the nose. There is no shadow at all. There's shadow here on the neck. There's shadow here on the hands, but there's no shadow on the face. Again, there's shadow where the hair touches, but there's absolutely no more shadow on where the face is like actually getting hit by the light. In this way, in this one, because of the light or how it hits, we can see that it's hitting from this side, from where the bunny is, right? But there's absolutely no light, no shadow on the face, just light. This is a way of economizing. This one is also really apparent, right? You have a hair that's super shaded. Your light source is also right around here. And the face has no shadow other than the one that the hair does when it touches the face. Everything else is shaded correctly, but not the face. In this one, for example, when you're trying a more realistic anime style, you do put shadow on the face. But if you notice, it's also not that... It is not that dramatic as the shadow on the hair. On the shadow on the hair, you can clearly see where it's lighter and where it's darker. And in here, in this face, is a little bit harder to perceive, but it's there, right? It all depends on how you want your render to look, your final illustration. Another one, hair shaded and everything, face has no shadow. Another one, this one has a little bit of shadow, but if you notice, it's not really shadow, it's just that there's a lighter color on top, and that creates the illusion of volume. But most of the time, what artists avoid to do, right, is putting a lot of shadow in the face. And if you do, you have to make it uniform. To not give the uncanny valley illusion of the fact that, you know, a character has anime proportions. If you're gonna put shadow on the face, everything gets shadow, and you just put a little bit of light in the nose and maybe the cheek, right? Another one, hair is shadowed, face, not really. So we can do that as well. Let's go back to your drawing, Gabe. We have a very strong light that's hitting on this side. This is our sun, right? We have a very strong light that's hitting from this side. The hair is getting most of the brunt here, like a helmet. Then the face shouldn't be able to get hit by it. Let's color it in. Duplicate this one, rasterize layer. Create a blink mask. Right? Because the hair is already acting like the hat, is already acting like the helmet that's protecting the face from the light. Because anime hair is super puffy and super like bright and stuff. Now what we can do, as our character's face is full of shadow, we can totally put a little bit of light. That's rule of cool, again, because the light coming from here shouldn't be able to hit this side, as we know. This is purely rule of cool, just to make the face have a little bit more volume, right? So we're gonna put a little bit of light on her cheek. I don't know if you guys have seen that sometimes they also put a little bit of a triangle here. That's called the Rembrandt triangle. Let me look it up. Rembrandt triangle. Now, Rembrandt became really famous for this type of lighting in his paintings because it really helped capture the dimension, the depth of a person's face, right? How plump they were, how thin they were, how their face texture was, and everything. This is the Rembrandt triangle right here, this one, and it's used still to this day a lot in photography, because it just looks so pretty, right? It just gives a little bit of extra to the face. If you see the triangle in any drawing that you ever see, that you ever saw, right? If you see it, it's because they're trying to replicate the Rembrandt triangle. It's a way to keep the face not super shaded in darkness, because if this was all dark, it would look quite creepy. But like if you manipulate your light enough, I actually was taught how to do this. I took a photography class. I know how to do the Rembrandt triangle in real life. When you manipulate it enough, you have this beautiful, beautiful triangle that not only lights up part of the face, but also lights up the eye. And it makes you feel closer to the person somehow. This is all weird photography psychology. I never knew much about the lighting. You should learn, because the light is literally the render. You know, a lot of people see it as learning how to shade, but it's actually learning how to use the light to your advantage, how to shape it according to what you have on screen. Shade everything in just that rim light, because it can be that fucked to render. Listen, if it looks cool and that's your style, that's real cool, man. It can tell anything. But yeah, this is the Rembrandt triangle. And if you notice, it happens when you have light a lot on one side of the face and then not in another. In this one, we could not have a Rembrandt triangle unless the light was a little bit more forward around here, right? And it was hitting this part of the face and this part here, and then we could add a Rembrandt triangle here. In here, we don't have enough to warrant, we don't have a light source that's coherent enough to warrant a Rembrandt triangle. But we do have a light that maybe would accept us to have a little bit of shine in the nose, which is what we saw some of our Instagram artists do. Here. Like in this one, for example, right, by Nekorina. The entire face is in darkness, but in order to not have it be just flat and feel weird, you just add a little bit of light on the nose, even though the light source itself wouldn't hit it. The light source would stay all the way here at the top of her head. But rule of cool, we just add a little bit of this, and it creates it into a 3D face. So we're just gonna do that, even though it makes no sense, right? Now be careful with your shapes and how the shapes receive light, right? A bow, if you have to think about all of your shapes 3-dimensionally. Even if you're drawing them like this, and you don't want them to be super realistic, you still have to learn how they look in all of the views, right? There's like shadow here maybe, and things like that. Like, you have to learn how it looks viewed from every single angle. You have to see it as 3D. So when the light is hitting here, it would not hit just like that, right? Because a bow is not something that's like the bow, for the bow to be hit by the light like this, it would need to be like this, right? And then all of this part would be hit by light, and then all of this wouldn't. It would be a weird shape. Expand your visual library. Make a bow, literally, or steal one from your mom or your sister, or make a bow with like a little bit of ribbon that you have in your house, or just look up how a bow looks in real life. Bow. Right? In 3D. Look out. Look how the light hits them according to the different material that they have. Let's make it satin. Satin bow. Right? Notice how they reflect light. This is also going to help you a lot to elevate your render if you want, but if not, you can totally just stylize it. But what we can see from here is that the bow has a side here and then a flat plane on the front. So let's do that. These ones are okay. I'm gonna let them pass. So if your bow is gonna be hit from there, right? And we know that bows have a flat plane and then all of this is flat and hidden from the light. We can just make the light hit this side of the bow and maybe a little bit here, just because of how the light behaves, right? And all of this part would not be touched unless it's protruding out, like how we see here, right? The folds are coming out of the middle part and they receive a little bit more light than everything else right here. So we can add a little bit of that as well. And in here as well. You can even add a little bit of here and stuff. That's just extra, right? The thing is that the bow should be like this and not like this. Make it 3D. Don't be afraid of following your shapes. Let's hide this. Other things that I see. This part of the chest as well. It wouldn't be shaded like that because the chest is like a sphere, right? And the spheres don't get hit by light like this. They get hit by light like this, following the shape of it. So let's just change it as well. Oh, the song went away. Let me put more music. Let's listen to some synthwave, sure. And let's make it again. Thinking of it like a sphere. That it's gonna be hit by this. And now all of these, the button and the flap here are different parts. So they're not gonna be hit the same by the light. The button is gonna get hit like a sphere again, or like a flat, more like a flat disc, not a sphere. Like a flat disc with a side. And then the side of the flap as well, gonna get hit as if it were part of a ribbon, following its shape. Make your light be coherent. And remember to separate each and every one of your elements in your clothes and everything. You see the difference? From this, where the light hit everything just like that, and it kind of looked like you forgot to paint that part, to this. Now it's actually being hit by the light. Because we're following the light direction, and it's hitting on that side, and we're following and separating it by shapes. It's the same here, even though this is a very little bit of it. We have the forearm, and we have the upper arm. And they are separate. So again, we make it so that it's hitting all of the separate parts. It would be a little bit of the upper arm. And then a little bit of the forearm, like this. And just the top part, right? The forearm is pretty much witchcraft. You have to look at it in order to learn how it looks when it's hit by light, eh? The mug, you know, instead of making the shadow all flat like this, we can make it follow the shape of a mug. A little bit better, right? We have the rim. And then we have the fallout here. The fallout of the light. This one's okay like this. Now, when you get to clothes, you can keep it like this. This totally makes sense in here, like how you did it. Or you can also use the light to kind of fake having folds. And you don't even, this is why so many, I don't know if you've seen a lot of speed paints and stuff from Japanese artists, you're gonna notice that they don't actually put lines to indicate all of their folds. All they do is like, once they are drawing their light, they just kind of imply them that they're there. Right? These ones aren't making a lot of sense because I just wanted to draw folds, you know, to show you guys. Now, if the light is also hitting on this side, it should also hit here on the top as well. You know, and we have our folds here. And now we have folds without even having to draw them all. Right? And it looks like it's actually cloth. Ta-da! Use the light to your advantage. Rule of cool to break it, to make something look good when it's different, and following reality to make it look like it's actually part of the drawing, right? And you know what the cool part is that the same thing happens with the hair. In here you don't have a lot of hair texture. But what happens when we grab our light and we just start drawing hair strands to make it seem like the hair is way more texture than it actually is? You see, just by adding that little bit based on the shape of this one here, or where the light would hit it, we already have a really cool like hair texture. And we can do the same down here, and we can go ham. We can go crazy and put another one here, right? And then like this. Anime does this a lot. And in like anime, the actual like anime shows and everything, not only like anime digital art. Why? Because it's easier to the eye and it's stylized because you don't have to draw every little single detail of the hair, right? And we can do the same thing here. Have you seen sometimes that hair renders by other Japanese artists have these funny little shapes that are like triangles and then they have something like this and stuff? It's literally just following the volume of the hair. If we go and check out the volume of this little strand of hair, for example, right? And we end up with this kind of funny shape. We can see, let's do it with green, right? Let's pretend that we're like trying to figure out the volume of the hair. We can say that it goes like this. For this, I drew a bunch of grids, right? They're separated from here. I drew a bunch of grids when I was in college. And there we go. Now we have a 3D shape. And we do the same here. How would it look? Right? And in here, there's a little bit of a fallout. And we have a 3D shape. And now we know that if the light gets to hit them, it's not gonna hit them just like this. It's gonna hit them following that volume that we created in our hair, in our head. Right? It's really cool the amount of things you can do by learning how to put volume on things. It's the same thing here. Let's do red now because I can't see. Right? We have two strands here, so they're gonna part around here. And this is gonna be one strand. And then the other one, right? Maybe it's more like this because it's like going down here. And there we go. And now we know how they look like in 3D. As if we're doing 3D manually. Instead of having an actual like 3D program or anything. And you see how we added way more volume to the hair just by adding some strands to the sides where light would hit it. And we didn't even have to like think too hard or do anything too bad, right? Now, when to add, if you want this to look even more like finished and cool and things like that, when to add the blurry bits, right? The parts that blur. Hello, so many customers talking to me. Go to work, Ida. It's fine. It's fine if you're at work. When to put the fun little... Let's go back to the likes on Instagram. Here. Where to put the cool fallout of the light. The one that some artists do where it kind of like fades out. Let's see another example that I have. Ignore my braid, my hair tutorials, please. What art? I'm trying to see if I can find an artist that does it a lot around here. Ah, the video. Dang it. Like this, yeah. How to know when part of the light of the hair is gonna get super blurred out, like super soft rather than super hard. That is all about curves. It's all about the curves of your sphere, of your like ideated sphere. No, I don't want to work. You have to get that bag. Get that bag. You're gonna do it whenever there's a curve somewhere. Not in the spikies, but whenever there's a curve. Whenever there's a curve. Just like that. It's basically imitating the look on how 3D models render light on smooth surfaces, on circles and stuff. I would really recommend you to study, you know, have a ball or have literally like anything and see where the light starts to get soft. And it's usually at the curves. Just like that. I'm almost done. I can't afford to listen to the stream. That's what a tsundere would say. You can also do it where the hair is gonna meet parts of the other part of another part of the hair. What I'm doing is not random. It's supposed to be following a soft part in the grid that we just drew a little bit ago. Right? Now, what else we can do to make this drawing be more like 3D or have it be more impactful and not having to draw another shadow or another layer like or another like something that's going to take us a lot? Use bounce light. In life, let's name this too. In life, when we have an object, right, we have at least 3 different types of light. We have our object, right? And we have what's called the the environment light. The environment light, which is basically how the object is being lit up in the environment. If this is a dark environment or this is a cool environment, right? Let's put it behind. We have our environment light. It's basically this object is inside a space somewhere. Let's name it. 4. Environmental light. Light. I know how to write. I swear. After that, we have what's called the cast light or the cast shadow, the object light. Basically, how the parts of it are shaded. I'm gonna name it object light. I know these have their own terms, but I forgot them, so we're just gonna name them object light. How I basically understood it is based on its shapes and volumes. On its shapes and volumes. Right? This is gonna go work better. This is gonna go work better if we do it with Hachiwari. Let's do it with Hachiwari instead. Right? Hachiwari. Oh my god. My Hachiwari is like all fucked. Pretend this is Hachiwari. Right? And we have our Hachiwari here. This light basically means that it's gonna cast a shadow depending on the shape of all of the objects that you have making up your subject. For example, here in environmental light, Hachiwari is just in a dark lit room, right? So all of the shadow that he has is just like this, basic. Object light, we go by his volume. So what we do is just, let me select this so that it's a little bit more clean. Just a little, ever so slightly. Right? What we do is do a little bit of shadow depending on how the objects look in 3D. Just with a general light, like the kind of shadows that your object would have just by existing. Right? These shadows in general are way lighter. Like you can't really see the difference that much. So you should be able to do it accordingly. Like this. That's your object light. Obliterating the shrimp with hyper anti-shrimp laser beams. Hello chat, how am I not too late? Not Sonic! Welcome! Welcome, welcome to the stream. And now the last one is the key light. Basically... Oh my god, I have to redraw Hachiwari again. I should have done this in layers. It's okay. It's okay, it's okay. We can do it, we can do it. We can draw Hachiwari a third time. Chafiwari. That's Chafa. Oh my god. I can't draw a circle. Right? The key light is basically... Key light. It's basically the light source that we've been talking about all this time. All of today. You have a strong light and it's hitting your subject in a certain way. Right? And this one is usually differentiated by the fact that it actually has a color. Depending on how the light is hitting. Right? That's our key light. And now, when we connect all of these... Let's draw even yet another Hachiwari. I'm not here for too long. I'm just on my break. Oh, welcome, Sonic. Either way. We're talking about the types of light and shadow. Now, when we put all of these together... It's gonna create a really cool effect. And now this one I can do separately. We have our environmental light, right? The fact that Hachiwari is just in a very dark room. Okay, not that dark. So Hachiwari is in a dark room. But then we remember, oh, Hachiwari also has a volume. It's a figurine that has a little bit of volume. Wrong brush. Right? Remember, this guy is 3D. So we have our environmental light. We have our 3D light, or our 3D shadow, right? Of the fact that Hachiwari is a 3D object. And we soften it a lot. And then, in the end, we have our key light. We go up to Hachiwari and we say, you know what? Turn on the lights, Hachiwari. Don't be in this dark room by yourself. Turn on the light. And we put a light over here. And he turns on the switch. Right? And suddenly we have this as well. Notice how I'm putting it in overlay because you're supposed to be able to see the volume of the object once you light it up. How it works in real life. Right? And what we have now is a fully rendered Hachiwari. And he looks super 3D. If we like zoom out a lot, we can see that that Hachiwari right here is 3D. All of these don't look bad, right? These are all of the 3 types of shadow or 3 types of light that make up a render. When you're drawing, when you're 3D modeling, when you're doing anything. You can have more than one key light. You also have something called bounce light, right? If we go a little bit further, which is what we're trying to do, right? Is adding the bounce light. The bounce light is basically the light that bounces off of like the walls or like the objects that are nearby, right? Let's add it to the lineup of Hachiwaris. Here. The bounce light is pretty much a bonus. Why? Because it exists in real life and it can help a lot of your anime drawings. But it's not something, I mean, you should, no, it's not something that you add to every drawing. You could, again, if we wanted to give it that, like, a special volume that's stylized. Bounce light. Now, bounce light, why don't we use it all the time and stuff? Because sometimes we don't really need it. If you're doing shading that is cell shading, you could add bounce light to give it a little bit more volume, but most of the time it's going to look a little weird. Bounce light is a type of light. If our key light is super white, bounce light is going to be a little bit darker. Or, well, a little bit more soft. Right? And it's just going to be, and it's going to be, oh, the ever slightest touch. Because it's not light that's coming directly from a source. It's light that's literally bouncing off of other objects like this. So it's really just very light. Very, very light. It's the light that's bouncing off of the wall, the light that's bouncing off of the floor, the light that's bouncing off of other objects, out of grass, out of trees, out of everything, right? So if we want to do our little Hachiware here even more special, we're going to add a little bit of bounce light. Ever so slightly, ever with such a little touch. We add it to the darkest part. Ah, do you see that? Do you see that? How it changed? Now we brought light to a part that was like initially super dark, but our volume didn't get lost. We still have our volume there. We just softened it a little bit thanks to the bounce light, thanks to the objects that are around our Hachiware. that are gonna light him up very, very slightly. Let's go through all of them again. We have our environmental light. We have Hachiware in a room with 4 walls, no windows, right? Now, Hachiware is in the room with 4 windows, but Hachiware is also an object that has volume. His ears are 3D, as so is his face. Right? We remember that by drawing his volume, all of his parts. The shadow of all of his parts. Then we go, hey Hachiware, bring out a light. Bring out a lamp. And we light him up. And all of that part of his face is like super dramatically lit up and stuff. And then we go, hey, the room has 4 walls. That means that there's going to be a lot of light bouncing off of everywhere. And we add the bounce light. And this is how it looks when you add all 4 of them together. This is the secret, or not the secret, but this is what render usually entails. All of these 4 types of light, or 4 types of shadow, how you want to see it, right? That all come together in order to make the illusion that something's 3D. Hachiware will look like this in 2013. In 2032. In 2032, they're gonna make Chikawa 3D. This is how Hachiware is gonna look like. This is the render. This is all of the steps of your render. It's not just and on these you can add, you know, even more shadows, even more lights, even like a bunch more things. But this is your 4 main types of light. Now that we got that out of the way, this lesson in light, I'm gonna put it lesson in light on the types of light that exist. We go back to our drawing and we see that the only 2 types of light that we have here is environmental light, right? The fact that Sayori is all dark because she's under the trees. And we have a key light, which is the light that's coming from the sun, from the trees, right? That is filtering out to her body in a very strong way. What we can add? We can add all of the other ones. We can add maybe an object light, which is basically just like shadowing all of the parts, but that's going to take too long. Or we can add a bounce light. Let's try to do that. Bounce light. All right, I unfortunately have to go. I'll peep the bot later on my lunch. Okay, Sonic, thank you so much for joining, at least for a little bit. See you soon. Let's just add a little bit of a bounce light. The light that's coming from everywhere around her. Now, the sky is like super blue, so I'm gonna put a bounce light. I usually like to keep my bounce light blue or purple, just because usually by the time the colors hit your object, they're gonna be pretty mixed up. And it's usually gonna be one of those two, depending on the kind of environment that you want to do. There's gonna be a very, very light blue. We're not gonna go blue all the way. It's gonna be very, very light, like stick to the whites around here. And we grab our soft brush and we put a little bit of bounce light, but keeping in mind the volume of the shapes. Let's crop this to the figure. Let me select quick selection. Okay, that's not working. Okay. We just do lasso tool. Really quick. Lasso tool, very quick. Wow. So, taking in mind the shape and volume of all of our shapes, we're gonna add a little bit of bounce light. Bounce light that's coming from the sky, that's coming from the floor. I would recommend putting it at full opacity at first, just to kind of like, you know, be able to see it, to see how it looks. You know, if there were light under Sayori, well, the light that's bouncing from underneath would come from... It would stop here at the bottom of her chest, right? Maybe there's some bounce light here by her neck, and then by her hair. All of this. And you go, wow, that looks really messy and terrible. Lower the opacity. Non-believer. Lower the opacity. You see that? It's ever so slightly, but if we turn it off, it's 100% noticeable. Right? Before and after. And you give ever so slightly a little bit of light. Let's put it like in far away so that it's more evident. Before, she looks good, but it's a little flat, right? And it's missing a little bit of like a color variation. And with bounce light. Ta-da! And all we did was just add one more shadow, one more layer, right? And we went around through all of the things. We also can add a little bit of bounce light on the face. And you know, you can also shape it to what you want and what you need. You know, maybe, oh, that's too hard, or oh, it goes too much into the hair. There we go. No bounce light, bounce light. No bounce light, bounce light. No bounce light, bounce light. And it gives a little something extra to your drawing, I think. Right? Based on all of our hachiwaris. The bounce light is really aggressive. It depends on where you are. It can be really soft and it can be really aggressive. Especially if it's a bounce light, you know, like if you were in a red room. That's why everything looks red when you get lit up by a light. Obsession has become one of the top 10 highest grossing horror movies of all time. That is unbelievable. Obsession was good, but I don't think it's top 10 of all time good. That's my personal opinion. As a person who likes horror movies. That's insane. No, bounce light, bounce light. No, bounce light, bounce light. Right? What else can we do? We can give a little bit more shape to the trees as well and stuff. But since they're not the main focus of the drawing, I wouldn't do it. I think all in all, like this, it looks good. All we did was clean up the light a little bit and add a little bit of bounce light so that it gives a little bit more of environment, right? So let's see before and after. Before and after. All we did was clean up the light a little bit, keep in mind the volume of things, on how they look when they're 3D, and add a little bit of bounce light and detail where there was none, just with the light. Before and after. Before and after. I think it looks a little bit more natural, right? And it gives a little bit more of color variation than the other one from before. Just like that. So this is what I would do if this was my drawing and I wanted to kind of like fix it up a little and try to see how to make it better. Thank you so much for your submission. Now, Gabe, I forgot to put your username. This drawing is done by Gabe. Is Gabe-less, but his actual @ on Twitter is Gabeness51, I think? Gabeness51. If you want to go find him on Twitter, is at Gabeness51 on Twitter. Thank you so much, Gabe, for your submission again. I hope you see these and I hope we were able to learn something together, right? And I can't wait to see your other drawings where you try and apply this and see how it goes little by little. People really liked it. I've been seeing people watch it like 5 times. Obsession? Really? I mean, I guess I get it. It's scary, but I guess it's more like realistic scary. There's no like big monster or anything, so I guess it's better for other people to relate. Like, it's easier for other people to relate to it. Gabe. Thank you so much again for your submission, Gabe. Go follow Gabe at Gabeness51 on Twitter. Thank you so much. And we go to the next one. The next one is bittersweet because it's latitude. Lat, I am not sure. All of this was goated advice, and the part about the hair generally helps so much as I struggle with it a lot too. Oh yeah, there's like 100 ways to do hair, and you can do it as complicated or as simple as you like. I've seen lots of, let's take a little detour. I've seen lots of Chinese artists, for example, because sometimes I get Chinese art tutorials on my Facebook, even though I don't understand like the language and stuff, right? And you know, they have their hair and stuff. Let's make a little, just make a little face. And the way they draw their hair is one, they draw it just by first like blocking it in with the color. Obsession fans when a girl frowns on something. I heard my name. What did you say, Anita? That we were gonna do your drawing next? That's why I said that it was bittersweet. But first, we're gonna take a little detour on hair and how hair reacts with the light. Oh. Wrong eraser. Let's do this one, yeah. Miku. Okay, let's make her Miku. Let's make her Miku. So what they do is, one, they lock in their hair like with the color, right? And let's draw her pigtails. Miku pigtails. And now it's Michael. Michael, don't leave me here. And then what they do is literally shade it all as if it were an apple. I've been looking at it, and I've thought of maybe trying it out. I'm not sure. The way they mix things, literally, like how they do hair, is like as if it were an apple. Let me show you what I mean. So let's look up, first of all, let's look up pictures of apples. Hatsune Miku. Copy it and let's paste it. This is an apple, right? What is up with an apple? An apple is a reflective surface. So the way all of the lights that we just learned work is that they make everything way more dramatic. Basically, at its core, how an apple looks when shaded is like, it's really the way it like gold and other metals look, right? You have a very dark core. You have a very light reflection. And you have all of that surrounded by a very soft, like, middle color. right? If we simplify the apple, this is basically what it is. Ah, and you also have a little bit of bounce light on it. You have some bounce light on the apple, right? And it's like, and that bounce light is very, very shaded like that. That is at its core an apple. Multiply layer over the hair. No, don't do that. Apple, Among Us eye. It does look like a little Among Us. That is at its core an apple, and that's how a lot of Chinese artists draw the hair, as if it were something that was reflective like that. So they start with their very, very dark core, right? They even do it like a sphere. So they would grab a soft brush, just a brush like this, with a hardness that's kind of like this, right? And then they start going at it as if everything were spheres. Right? They draw like as if everything was a sphere here. And then here as well. And that is basically like the first layer of the hair, the first the environment light of the hair that we just learned, right? And then what they do is, as if the hair was wet, they go in with a highly reflective light, like literally almost white, right? And they go all throughout this part, and this is when you put you know, your funny shapes and stuff. I see artists do it like this. I see others that do it more like funky shapes. Right? Like, I see N's and H's. Right? And they make all of their funky shapes in a very reflective light. And they go and they soften the bottom of them. And it literally, you know, like the whole point is to start making it look as if it were an apple. And then they go in and they put a bounce light with another soft brush. Right? Right now it looks very exaggerated, but we're gonna change that. They go in and they put in their bounce light. And they start doing the rest of the hair like this. Right? So they start going at it. This is like their vase. And then they grab a little bit of another shadow, right? And they start going at it and drawing the roots and stuff of the hair. They start drawing hair strands. But all of this using this as a base. Then they start and they go funky with the colors, right? Oh, right. And they also have to be careful here, for example, that the bounce light doesn't go over certain things, right? And that there's still shadows around. You know, that there's still parts of the hair where the light is still not gonna hit, even though it's like this. And it makes a really pretty effect. Like, I really, really like it. But it's like so non-intuitive, because this makes hair look really wet, right? They can also, like, they will go on top and start making, you know, they grab like a little bit of a darker color here. And they draw like hair strands and stuff. Like literally just, I mean, of course they have like a way of being, but to the untrained eye, it kind of looks like random, right? When you draw your hair strands and stuff. And this is how the Chinese do hair. The Chinese are on another level, really, for real. If you're curious about this, try it out. Like right now, maybe you don't think much of it, but if you look at it from afar, you go like, whoa, that looks different, right? That looks really different. I would go at it and grab the thing from the Japanese, right? We don't go to these high levels of light, but we do go lighter. And we make like hair strands and stuff that are the ones that are closest to the light. Like this, right? Sorta, kinda. And you kinda, you know, we refine them a little and stuff. But very little. Like a lot of this thing is that it's supposed to be kind of like feeling it out and checking it out and stuff like that. There's many ways to do hair, but this one always sticks to me. The apple, the apple way, and we kind of just, you know, we blur it where it starts to get lost and stuff. The apple way of shading hair, everyone. It turned fire, not gonna lie. Thank you. And I did it like super fast. But it comes to show how a lot of things are just rule of cool, right? Like, why would you shape your hair like an orange if it kind of makes no sense, right? And why does it look so freaking cool? Right? Why does it look so good even though we know that the hair doesn't work like that in real life? Chat, I gotta go. It's so late. Take care. Thank you for joining, Gabe. Don't worry. Sleep well. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, try it out next time, you guys. You guys should try it out, you know. And we put like a hashtag apple hair or something like that. But yeah, this is what it shows, right? Rule of cool. We named this Migu hair. Rule of cool triumphs over anything and everything at all. That's how it is for hair. For hair, there is no right or wrong way. You just do what you like. Find an object, an apple, an orange, and shade your hair just like that. Migu apple. Migu. Okay, so this is bittersweet because Lat gave us a submission. This is gonna be the last submission of the day. Thank you so much, Lat, for submitting this. All right, see you, chat. Gotta do less important stuff. Good luck at work, Ida. Now, Latitude, as he said, he's closing this chapter of Latitude art and he's retiring. Who knows if he's gonna come back? Right now, he has no intention to draw. He's gonna take like a very extended, non-defined hiatus. But anyway, all of his art is still gonna be in his accounts. Is at Latitude art. Beware, some of his stuff is somewhat itchy. Let me see if that's the actual ad. Latitude. It's latitude _ lat. Oh, I'm leaving work. Oh, hell yeah. Have a good commute then. Be careful. It's latitude _ art. Now, be careful. Some of his stuff is a little etchy. Stuff that you wouldn't want to see your mom looking at. Well, your mom noticing that you're looking at it. Of course, thank you for reviewing my artwork. Thank you so much, Lat. Now, I know what you're trying to do because I remember when I did this kind of lighting, you really, really like it. Now, I did this kind of lighting at the start. I think it was the start of last year. Let me look for it. Where is it? Where is it? Anna, why are you so awesome? That's how big sisters are, Fumi. That's how big sisters are. Now, how did I name this? It has to be from January. I see happy thoughts. Everyday Monica, I can fix her. Inktober. Oh my god, I can't find it within all of my stuff. I think I name it library. No. Aniv. No. I'm gonna take a nap. I'm tired of being outside all day. See you later, fellas. Bye, Trap. Thank you so much for joining. Now, where is it? What did I name it? Let's sort by date created. Yeah, that's gonna help a lot. And let's see if we can find it. Here it is. Aha. So I remember that I drew this and Latitude was completely infatuated with it. He said so himself, and it's something that I'll never forget. I drew it for the library anniversary. I'm not sure if it's coming up on stream correctly. It looks kind of dark for some reason. Let me see if I can just pull it in here. Yeah, okay. In here we can see it a little bit better. Yeah, I drew this at the start of 2025, I think. Yeah. So, what, like a year ago, pretty much. A year and a couple months. And I remember Latitude was like super infatuated with it. Like the light source and how it hit Storyteller, and the cool orange edges that I had just learned how it worked. Who's the Stellar of Stories? Very mysterious. And all this drawing is literally just the base colors and like the environmental light that we just learned thanks to Hachiware, and just the key light. And that's pretty much it. And I put, you know, like some like dusty bits, like universe bits around. And I remember, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm tooting my own horn too much. But I remember Storyteller that Lat saw this drawing and he was like, whoa. And because of that, for his birthday last year, I haven't done any birthday drawings this year. For his birthday last year, I drew his OC Irene in a very similar type of light. Let me put it up on Photoshop instead. Aha. I drew his OC Irene in a very similar type of light. A little bit less exaggerated and stuff. Because I was working on a time crunch. Back when I used to do my little eyes like this. Super shoujo. Oof, this drawing is so old. So I think... Stop, I'm gonna cry. This is so cute. So I think that's the type of lighting that he's trying to recreate in this drawing that he really, really likes. And I'm pretty sure this is not the first time that he's done it. Irene mentioned. Irene. So let's see what's happening. We have the way that he solved this type of lighting is that we have the environmental light, which is basically all of this part in shadow. Is basically all of this parts in shadow, right? We have his key light, which is all this type of light here, and here, and here, and here, here. And he also added the volume shadow, the volume light right here, and right here. You know, it's all of these ones that are telling us the shape of the objects that we have around here and stuff. Right? Now, is this wrong because he added a third type of shadow? No, in fact, this actually can make it even cooler. Right? I was lazy and I just didn't do any shadow. But one thing is gonna be true is that if you're gonna put your volume shadow, right? If you're gonna put this shadow right here for all of your objects, you have to make your light source way more dramatic. Why? Because if not, it all kind of blends together and it looks cool, right? But it's missing that cool impact that you look at it and you go, whoa, right? Your light, for example, here, if we compare it to the drawing that I did that one time. Here. Right, I have the cool, like, glow and the orange little thing, right? Which is not very, like, it's not very different to what Fomi does in her original drawing, right? It's basically this. You have your light source and you put a little bit of glow to make it, like, super dramatic, right? So it's basically the same thing. Why? Because in this kind of light, if you're gonna make dramatic lights like this, the light itself should be your focus. Of course, you're using it for a character, right? To like light it up and stuff. But you have to do it by making your character have that light be the main part of them, of their figure. So that it looks like, Pwah! Right? I'm sorry, I don't... I'm really bad at describing things. I just go like, wah, wah, onomatopeias, like, wah. So, if we notice, you know, we have our volume shadow and stuff, but our volume shadow and the way the light is like defined is pretty much the same. So that means that they're competing between each other when it comes to a visual hierarchy. Even though the light is way lighter than the dark part of the shadow, they're still competing since they have basically the same shapes, right? So let's just add a little bit of glow to this part. And if you notice, this is the opposite of what happened to Fumi. Well, it's very similar, actually, right? We have orange light. Why is the light here just whitish cold, right? Why doesn't it look orange? We have to make it at least a little bit orange because all of what we have here is orange. That's the coherency. That all makes sense. You're explaining it very well, Anita. Thank you so much. Thank you. So if we have our super orange light right here, all of this light should be orange. You already did really well with the environmental light and the fact, you know, that the face is a deep red and everything is like very orangey. Give that extra step and make the light also pretty orange or yellow. You can do it yellow so that it kind of separates a little bit. So let's do that. Let's add that glow, that tint, that yellow orangey tint, and let's add that glow. So I like doing this when I do it like that. I do use a lot of blending modes. Why? Because it's the blending modes that make the light part look cool when the colors meet and everything. So I'm not against blending modes, as Fumi would have it think, as Fumi would think, right? I actually like blending modes, but it's important to also not rely too much on them, because then if you need to adjust something, you're not gonna know, you know, where or when you need it. So let's put our blending mode in overlay, and you see that's literally all it needed. Do you see how it changed that? And we have the orangey glow already, right? Let's put a little bit of opacity. You see that? And all we needed was an overlay layer. That's all we were missing. So let's make it super dramatic, right? And let's make it actually pop. Let's add the tint and the cool orangey glow to everything. Everywhere where the light meets. Yeah, that's what I was missing. The glow makes it more aesthetically pleasing. Not even only like, yes, of course, it looks super cool, right? And aesthetically pleasing, but it's just the fact that it looks very striking. It looks very contrasting to the fact that you have cell shading here. So when you add something different, whether it be a darker color or a bigger shadow or a surface that actually has a soft kind of like a soft surface instead of the harsh cell shading, that's gonna create contrast. And that's gonna immediately draw the eyes of all of the people that look at your art, all of your fans, all of the people that are, you know, like on the lookout. By adding this glow... Oh, hi, Alice. Welcome back. By adding this glow, what we're doing is telling our viewers, like the people who watch our audience, is like, look at this part specifically, because it's different and it's worth looking at. Right? Before, it competed a lot with the back shadow because it was pretty much the same. The tint is a little bit cold, right? So it kind of looks like she's not really in the environment like that, right? We would need maybe to make the light a little colder or something. But then we add this, which is something completely different to one, your usual drawings, and two, your usual way of doing light. And that way, people are gonna be like, whoa, this is different, right? Like, whoa, this is so cool. Just over the mere fact that it's something that you're doing different from everything else in your drawing. I think it's also why the apple hair that we were talking about earlier is so striking, because nobody expects the hair to look like that. Like an apple, you know? Let's add some light to the face. Well, some glow, right? There we go. Now, I think that you could have made your light parts way more dramatic. Maybe if the light was behind her, right, I would understand why we would only see so little of it as if it were a rim light. But I would actually tell you to exaggerate it even more. I think I got the color right. Let me see. Let's put it in overlay. No, maybe you used hard light. Yeah, it's kind of hard light. It's like a orangey hard light. There you go. Right, I would just make all of these parts brighter. Like I would make it. I would extend it more throughout the drawing. Ah, fuck it. Let's just use the actual color. Aha. 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 And normal and 100. I would just make it bigger. All of the parts here. Not because it makes sense, but because rule of cool. Rule of cool will triumph over everything. Everything that looks realistic. So we make our arm a little bit glow a little bit more. We protect our folds here. This is something that I see Stormblaze do a lot. Exaggerate the lights. And it's how basically the DDLC artwork looks like. You exaggerate the size of your lights and shadows to make it look cool. Right, all we're doing right now is just making the light part way brighter. Well, not way brighter, like way bigger than what it usually would be. This one I would also put a little bit here. Rule of cool is my new favorite art advice. It's honestly the one that a lot of people are missing. I was missing it for a long time. I was the kind of artist that will tell you, no, things have to be how they look in real life because that's gonna make, you know, the art come out. That's gonna make the art really pop. The fact that it kind of looks like you could be there. Right? And people are really gonna like that. And then imagine my surprise when I see a lot of artists who don't even draw, you know, their stuff like that detailed. Or when I see the Chinese doing apple hair and I go, why? Why do their artworks look so cool and mine looks so boring? And it's rule of cool. And rule of cool, when you're doing anime art, it's everything. Everything and anything. If you go right now and you take a look at all of the animes that you like, and you check the models and you check the way the characters are built. Oh, what I'm doing is just adding a little bit of like soft blur. Just to kind of, again, help a little bit more to define the fact that the light is different from the shadow. This is different. The rule of cool is otherwise known as the rule of Popidoru. No. The rule of cool is, you Google it, and there's so many people that vouch for it. I like your art. This is Latitude's art. Thank you. If you mean my art in general and stuff, thanks. I've worked a lot for it, but I still have a long way to go. I think, I don't know. I like trying new things. Now let's just make it a little bit more exaggerated. How the light hits her face and stuff. We can even put, you have the perfect opportunity, lad, to put exactly what we were talking about with the Rembrandt triangle. You have the exact things that we need. You have a face that is hit too much on one side and then not that much on the other. You can totally do it. Take it and run with it to the Rembrandt triangle because it looks awesome. It looks super pretty. So let's do that with harmonica here. Let's add the Rembrandt triangle. And let's soften it a little. Look at that! Wow! Wow! That's true. So yeah, I think the nose is fine like that. Because it wouldn't get hit that much. It would just be like a rim light. Look at that! We have our Rembrandt triangle! Wow! 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 We have her neck, right? Being hit by the light. And the bow, I like how it is. Because the bow is already rule of cool. Since all of the hair is blocking it, we wouldn't really see the bow glow like that. But let's do the hair. Let's do the hair a little bit more too. We can even do what we can even apply what we did earlier with Gabe's drawing, right? And adding way more hair strands than the ones that are there, just to give the illusion of volume. Now, this is a very, very difficult rule to remember. Why difficult? Because when you're drawing, you have complete control over things. And it can be really overwhelming, right? You know how things look, you know how things work, and you want things to look perfect, right? But that seldomly happens in real life. One of the biggest rules to make your art not look boring, if you notice here, we have the exact same shape in all of these little parts. Let's do it with pink so that we can see it. We have the exact same shape in all of these parts. We have this one here. Triangle, 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 right? It is, I think this one, they call it like the rule of grass or something like that. Grass doesn't look like this. If you want your grass to look realistic, you should make it like actual grass, which is one long, and then you have two tiny ones, and then you have a medium one, and then you have a long one, and then you have another long one and stuff. The whole point is that there's no two parts alike that repeat more than once or twice, right? So we have this in our hair. We have 1, 2, and 3. So what I'm gonna do with what we're doing with the light is try to break them up a little bit so that they don't look the same. So I'm gonna make this one a little bit fatter right here, right? And I'm gonna make this one like maybe a little bit more low like this. And this one is okay being there like high. And now that we have 3 different ones, we can make another one. Oh, that's too big. We can make another one that's super high again. And that way, we break down the shape. And it looks, funnily enough, it looks way more real and way more immersive because that's how things look in real life. The things in real life are not that perfect, right? And we add hair strand to kind of show detail that is in there, right? So you have the before with all of the shapes together, and now we've broken it down. Maybe I exaggerated with making this long. Let's just keep it around here. So that it also doesn't look too much like a flat piece of like light. I think I'll break it down around here. And let's connect this one here. And the side of her hair as well. Let's make it just a little bit bigger, right? And if these two are being hit by the light, this one and the cheek, this one would also be hit a little bit, I think. You know, we can make it a little bit not... We can make it have a fall off, right? That it happens and then, you know, it starts to get covered. But I would do it just because it also helps you frame the face. Right? And we do this. And now with our overlay, look at that. Let's make it a little bit bigger to match our newer shapes. You see that? And it's suddenly taking so much form. Look at how this two frame the face. Look at our Rembrandt triangle, right? The way it shines and stuff. We have this, and now it's time to make this part of the light have a little bit of like way more force. At least where it's supposed to be like super, you know, because the way the light works is that it starts super strong and then, you know, it fades away. You have a gradient here. But this part of the light, this color here, this one, this like orangey, like colors, this orangey color is not really the color of a light yet. Absolute cinema. So let's just try making it like a little bit more intense. You know, for a light to be this glowy and this dramatic and stuff, the light should be a little bit more intense. So let's do that. I like using linear dodge add for this. And so you go. And you see how it becomes way more intense. So we do this, right? And we can do a filter, blur, Gaussian blur, so that we don't have to blur it by hand. This, oh, I hit blur, Gaussian blur. I hit cancel, I think, instead of okay. Okay, there you go. And maybe we move it a little bit below here. And we cut it to the size of the piece. Right? And now it's just a little bit ever so more brighter. Maybe we can make it a little bit more, have a little bit more of a fallout gradually. Let's make it more orangey. Aha, well, yeah, it's gonna look like more yellow. Just like that. Wow! Why did we make the light more intense? Because this light doesn't look like it would warrant, or well, at least it's keeping it out of the focus of the drawing, right? Like, yeah, there's a light over there. Trust me, bro. Right? Trust me, bro. But it's just like in movies, when you do digital art, you have to do show, don't tell. Don't tell your audience. Believe it, man. There's a strong light out there that's like making her glow a lot. Show the light. Actually show them the light. Yeah, now we know that there's something really, really intense down there. And what is it? We don't know. We don't know. Maybe, you know, again, let's add a little bit of storytelling to this piece. Storytelling has been a theme in all of our other past streams, right? The fact that not only you have to make an image look cool, but you also have to make an image make sense, right? You have to invite the audience to get inside the world of your drawing, of your painting. If I were to do something like this, like maybe the thing that she just found out, and you know, because she looks mad, she's like, storytelling. she looks angry, she looks mad, and she's like basked in all of this light. I immediately think of the epiphany, right? I immediately think of the gaining of forbidden knowledge that is too upsetting, you know, to be happy at discovering it. It's something so beautiful, something so strong, and yet Monica, by discovering it, she's pissed off. So I think when I see this drawing, I immediately think of the epiphany and how angry Monica probably was in learning that her world and all of her choices and all of her friendships don't really matter and they're not real, right? How can we maybe add up to this? We can add some glitch parts. That would be awesome. Let's do that. I'm gonna grab the drawing, the finished drawing that we have. I'm gonna merge it into a new layer, right? Putting it on top. Storyteller when you want story and tell. I'm gonna mask. Oh, check this out, guys. This is how I learned how to do a glitch effect. So I'm gonna mask little rectangles of things, and with the cut and move tool, I'm gonna move them around. And you can make them as thin or as thin as you want. You grab it and you move it and you break it. You see it? You see it? And little by little, little by little, little by little, we're doing our glitch effect. Now we just go ham. We just go ham with it. We're gonna grab some parts of her skirt. And we blend it like... We make it glitchy like this. And again, some parts of the thing. Now the important part is to do it in the same width. Like, don't go around and take this one all the way over here and stuff, because that's not how glitches work in a screen. Right? The way they work is that it's line aberrations that are just ever so slightly noticeable. Right? And we keep going, and we keep going, and we keep doing our glitch. And the way they overlap, they start overlapping with each other the more you select it. You know, the bigger your glitch effect is gonna look. And we're doing it little by little. There's probably some cool filters or something that you could get for Clip Studio or something, you know, that allow you to do something glitchy, like super fast and stuff. And now that we have this, I'm gonna mask them so that the rest of our drawing is not duplicated, right? And I'm gonna put these in linear dodge add, probably, right? Even how it looks like this with the mask is like not that bad. But let's make it glitchy as well, right? Let's play around with it. Adding way more glitchy things. And now it also creates like a difference, right, between the type of light that is illuminating her and the rest of her world. The type of light here, we have hard edges, you know, not soft. We have hard edges. We have really abrasive light. As if it was the light of a screen, maybe? I don't know. And then we can add some chromatic aberration. Chromatic aberration is when you see things in screen look blue and red. So let's add a blue. We have to put it in hard light, very, very important. And then we go in with a soft brush. I think. Yeah, I think soft brush is the way to go. Now, let's do hard. Let's do hard brush. Right? And we can go below our glitches and just put a little bit of... I'm thinking. Hold on, my brain is operating at a lot of its capacity. I have a better idea. We duplicate this one, right? Our glitch form. And then we use adjustment. We use hue saturation. We do colorize. And we paint it blue. Super saturated blue. But this is just for this bottom part of our glitch, right? You see it? And now what we can do is move the glitch around a little bit. Ta-da! Chromatic aberration, everyone! We have one side already. And that's our blue one. Blue. And we can duplicate it. And we can make it red. And here in our hue saturation layer, instead of blue, we make it red. Super red. And we move it the opposite direction. Chromatic aberration! Woo! Again, the trick is you duplicate your layer. You put it in linear dodge add. You can also, I think, put it on screen if you want, or hard light, whatever, however your artwork works. And then you go with a hue saturation or colorize option. And you make it both super blue and then another one super red. And you move them around a little bit. I'm late. Oh, hi, storyteller. Welcome. And now we have our cool chromatic aberration light, right? And let's really... Wait, was I summoned? Oh, yeah, you've been summoned. A little late to the summon, but you have been summoned. We're talking about storytelling again in illustrations. So let's really send it home because I am a huge nerd. Let's do some binary numbers. All right, let's do zeros and one. 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0. Let's put it in like a computer type of typography. Yeah, let's do it 8-bit. 8-bit. Yeah, 8-bit. And let's make him white. Right, and we have our cool string of numbers. Our cool string. And let's make it again. Let's fill it again with different ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. I think I got them like mixed up, but it's the same thing. Right? And these are our binary lines. And we just duplicate them to oblivion. And we put them around places as much as we want. And we can make them smaller. And we can make them larger. Right? And suddenly, what we're seeing here... I'm gonna name these matrix numbers. Quasi. Flip them. Oh, yeah! Flipping them. That's also a good idea. Oh, let's grab this tiny one. And we go to Edit. Transform. Rotate horizontal. Look at that. Flipped. Yeah. Yeah. I like how you think, Coco. I like how you think. And make it huge as also. And we put it over here and stuff. And now... Matrix. We are not just looking at Monica. Now let's remove all of what we did. Just the glitch. Now we're not just looking at Monica in a really cool badass light, right? This is just like a suggestion, right? This is just like a suggestion again to make your audience interact more with your art. Right? Like I said, this drawing when I saw it, because it's like such a bright light and Monica's pissed off, she must have just discovered the epiphany, right? Like to find out that her world doesn't matter and that there's an entire world out there. DDLC baddies. You know, it's like she's pissed off to find out. It's such a bright light, it's such new knowledge, and she hates it. So now we've turned it from being Monica and having this really cool pissed off light to having her discover the epiphany. Look at that. Wow! Right? And we can change the title of this drawing. I think the original title was... Let's go to art held submissions. Just Monica, right? And now we can change it to the epiphany. Or every day I imagine. I don't know, something cool like that. Environmental storytelling. Exactly. Exactly. Like, because we're here and we're like, what did she discover? Is she just looking badass? Like she's preparing for a battle with someone or something, right? And now I've grabbed this drawing with my tiny little stumps. My tiny little stumps. And made it into something completely different, right? The epiphany. Monica finding the epiphany. The epiphany would go great as a title. Yeah, that too. Just like that. And she's found it and she's, you know, alone and in secret and in a dark place and stuff. And suddenly she has all of these. But yeah, that's what I would do. Let's see how it changed. From this that you submitted, Lat, to this. And all we did really was make the light part bigger, right? So that it looks more dramatic. Make it a little bit softer with the glow and some of the blurring in key like soft places, like where the fabric in the clothes gets like, what is it, like lost, like gets smoothed out, or in like smooth surfaces that are round, kind of like a sphere, like a round side or something. And we added these like a storytelling. We made the light a little bit more intense as well. And we added a cool storytelling bit. And now we have something completely different from where we started. That it was just Monica looking badass. And now we have the snapshot of maybe a story. Oh, also the Rembrandt triangle. The Rembrandt triangle, whenever you can, add it. Because it's very pretty. Don't forget about the Rembrandt triangle. Remember the Rembrandt. Remember the Rembrandt. Every time I hear the word storyteller, it's like that Akira. Storyteller, storyteller. Ah, get out of my head! Get out of my head! So yeah, this is I think how we could make it so that your drawing becomes a little bit more of like a talked piece and maybe a little bit more like shared and stuff, talked about, commented about and stuff. It's inviting the audience that is looking at your drawing to not just go, wow, that's a cool drawing, but also go, what is the story behind it? What are the implications? There's a really cool drawing that recently became a little bit viral by DDLC artist Punk Corpse. Let me find it first. Where is it? Okay, this one. And it's called The Girl Who Knew Everything. Right? And you know, when you look at this image, you go, well, okay, yeah, it's well rendered. It's, I really like the contrast of the green and the yellow, right? Green for Monica and the yellow for maybe the player or the outside world, something like that. But do you notice how not only she's like scared out of her mind, looking at us, breaking that fourth wall, right? That is supposed to be between us and her. And also the heart of her pen. Let me move it around so that the chat doesn't cover it. The heart of her pen looks like a real trampled heart. Right? This is and this is what I really like, and this is how you can see how much thought goes into pieces like this, right? This piece has 116,000 likes. That is a lot of people who really resonated with this piece, right? And in order for us to do the same, in order for us who want to have the same kind of like banger or the same kind of connection. I thought that was Yuri's pen. No, this is Monica. It's the one that she has. DLC Monica. In her official art, she's holding like a heart pen. I mean, three pesos of pixels, $1 of pixel, but that's supposed to be her pen, her cute little heart pen that she has in her official art, like her splash art. Bun carves the goat, yeah. Wiper. Wiper. But yeah, you see how much thought goes into storytelling into a piece like that? And it's so easy to just dismiss it, right? And be like, well, I could do that, right? I could draw like that. There are only two canonical pens, MC's and Monica's. Yeah. You know, it's so easy to dismiss this piece and be like, I could do this. This is just Monica on the stairs looking up and her pen, right? But, you know, stare at it a little bit longer. Read into it. This is what people do at art museums. And just because we're doing on Twitter, it doesn't mean that art doesn't matter or that art is different, right? Look at it and really, really get immersed, right? Monica is on a flight of stairs, which symbolically, you know, we can see it in the Truman Show. The Truman Show poster, beautiful movie. It's about a man whose entire life has been televised and he doesn't know. I need to head out now. Thank you once again for reviewing my artwork, Anita. It came out so beautiful. Thank you so much, lad. Thank you so much for your submission. I really hope we can see you drawing again because your drawings are just iconic as well. Yeah, I was watching this for a while. You can interpret a lot from it. Yeah. I love that movie. Yeah, The Truman Show is wonderful. For those who haven't seen it, you have to watch it. It's like top 100 movies that you have to watch at least at some point. Now, in The Truman Show, this man finds the fact that his entire life has been televised without his knowledge. He doesn't know, but everyone in the entire world knows about his life. Every single detail of his life is modified so that, or is presented in a way so that it advances like some kind of plot and stuff. Like he's basically living a real life sitcom, right? And the way he finds out, like, there's a very strong part of the movie where he actually finds out. And he goes and he thrums over all of his fears about the world. And he finds a flight of stairs to the exit of the stage. The exit of the world where he has been placed in, right? It's basically him getting out of the simulation and out into the real world. Monica, in this drawing, is on a flight of stairs. right? She's going down. She's going up from the DDLC, right? She's going up from her world into the real world, which she cannot cross. All she can do is lay down and look up at us. She's looking into the camera. She's looking at us, right? And just being completely amazed and terrified and discovering the fact that everything that she knows was real is not. It's Monica's epiphany, and she's looking right at you, the viewer, because she realized there's a hole in the wall for her to look out of. In fact, it's one of my favorite tropes in the DLC art. The other girls acting normal, but Monica looking at the viewer. Yeah. It's just really good. My POV when I'm about to step on her because I didn't know she was there. It's like, hey, you're hugging all the stairs, man. I just want to get down. Please move. She's taking a nap there or something, right? And not only we have that, not only we have, you know, what Storyteller said, that's really impactful, right? What we said, the stairs and the fact that she's looking right at us with those eyes full of terror and amazement. We also have her heart pen. And it's the top part of the heart looks like a real heart with blood, and it's all trampled, right? It's just it blows your mind. It blows completely your mind, right? Like, not only is she noticing and is she learning, but she's also putting everything that she knew, all of her friends, all of her memories, her personality, her cool school status and stuff. All of that has been trampled over the fact that it's not real, right? And there we have it, 116 likes. That is 116 likes, 17,000 reposts, right? This is the power of storytelling in your drawings. This is what you should look every time you do a drawing. Try. I mean, sometimes we just want to draw a cool girl, and that's fine. I do it all the time. Most of the time, all I want to draw is a cool girl. Just Natsuki being there looking cute. But every so often, you know, I think it's a good exercise, and it's good maybe for your growth if you really want these kinds of numbers on your account, or if you want to become an actual like digital artist online and live off of commissions and merch and things like that. Take a little bit of a break and not only draw just because you want it to look good or you want it to look cool, like we said, right? The rule of cool. But mesh it all together. Mesh it absolutely all together and try to make a story out of it. And you're gonna see how those are your most popular drawings. Right? I probably am nothing to write home about, but the fact that you guys are here, you know, show that some of my drawings have connected with you. The fact that I'm here talking with you and stuff has connected with you as well, right? But the drawings, my two most popular drawings in my account, like of all time, that I think like right out the top of my head, let me look them up so we can see the likes numbered together, are the ones that are not even rendered. They're doodles that I did because I was so overworked from my day job that I wanted to do something else. Right? But they told a story. It's this one. And all Natsuki's doing, well, all of what we can perceive that she's doing, right, is putting on, let's make this bigger, like how it was. Is putting on some glasses, right? Aha, like that. Is putting on some glasses, and we have 6,000 likes. You know? But it's the fact that it's like a 2-time story. And this is such a simple one. This is like, I remember doodling it because I was thinking of Bellman, Scooby-Doo and stuff, right? And I was like, haha, I wanna have Natsuki wear glasses. So I drew it, but as a little story of like, you know, the fun part is that her eyes go super small and stuff. And I thought it was really cute. I did not expect this to be my most popular drawing of all time at 6,000. And this was in August 2025, almost a year ago. And I haven't been able to replicate the same levels of hit. But it's because it tells a story, right? It's in the end, people, sure, they're gonna care about whether your art looks cool, whether it's well rendered and stuff. But what they really, really want is connecting with your art. And that's gonna compel them to share it and compel it to like it, right? And support you and see more of you. Because your voice, your ideas, like in your brain, the way that you think, the symbols that you know and stuff are just right there on the screen in your drawings, right? I also have this one that I tried to do kind of similar, but it only got 3,000 likes. You know, it's a hit or miss. Hit or miss. I bet they're never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss, yeah, mwah. And this drawing, for example, that I spent so much time on, rendering the pillows and the learning how to do the floor. I even drew a little bit of her manga and stuff. I have some candy wrappers around, right? It only got 700 likes. Hey, you drew me doing that. Yeah, I did. You know, it's all about it's all about it's not your technical skill, it's not the way that things look like better, the same, or anything. At the end of the day, what matters the most is the story that you tell through your drawing, the message that you give the people that are looking at your drawing. And, you know, it's your one chance to be in front of someone and be like, hey, look at me. You cannot stop looking at me. You cannot stop thinking about me. Look at me. Look at me. Love him or hate him, Kyle also does great with telling stories in his artwork. Never just a picture of people, always layers to what's happening. Yeah, exactly. Kaleri, Ryan Art as well. The reason why these artists are so popular is not only because they draw, you know, I guess, suggestive content, and we all know sex sells. Even marketing people know that. Right? It's not only because of that, but it's the fact that it's telling a story and it's fun and people can understand it and connect with that and want to share it with others. Story that you tell. I like the sound of that. Yes, Ryan. I love her most recent one with Smart Sayori. Oh yeah, that's really funny as well. It's really cute. And if you notice, it's not like they have to do comics or they have to do mangas or something like that. All they're doing is just adding a little bit of text or a little bit of context and maybe more characters, something like that. It's just ever so slightly, right? Something that tells you what's going on and that explains it to the viewer, like you showing them, not telling them. And it will connect. It'll connect. Shiroburo, yeah, Shiroburo as well. If you look into all of the artists like that, you know, like into all of the popular artists in the digital sphere and even others, right? They're always telling a story. There's always something more behind. This anime girl looks cool and I wanted to draw her. Okay, I'm gonna have to make a list. It's the list of artists to study from. And not because, you know, you have to draw the same as them, but because you have to see how they're using storytelling to their advantage to connect with people, right? And this is what you should strive to do. I like stories. I like to try to tell stories with my art. Yes, Sonic, I love your stories. You also have a really good, strong sense of composition as well, in order to make it seem like it's actually happened in real time. I think you do it really, really well. But yeah, that's I think we're gonna end up the stream on that note. You know, I always try to take a new topic. This one for this stream was light. I wish to tell stories with mine. Tell them. Don't hold back. Draw what you like. Draw the stories that you want to see in the world. You have to. You're compelled to. Compelled by the power of the creator being you, right? You have so much power over your world that is your illustrations. Use it and share it to others, because we've talked about it before, right? It's what we want as artists. We want to be seen. We want to be recognized. We want to connect. We want to be clapped at. We want to be seen. Don't hide. You know, make yourself be seen. Make people not stop looking at you. As always, I try to make new topics for these art tips corner. But as always, the biggest two ones, I think, is rule of cool and storytelling. Rule of cool and storytelling. High key motivational stream. Woo! That's the whole point. That's why I like to do these on the weekends, right? Most of you, you know, don't have work or school on the weekends. So you have all of the weekend to think about maybe a cool piece that you want to do, and you share it, right? And you have the exact opportunity with these streams, and we can talk about things like this, and we can talk about why some things work and why they don't. And then you get to try it. Like the apple hair. Let's put it up again because it did look really cool and I did not expect it. I've never tried it seriously. Other than this is like the most seriously I've ever tried. Right, with the apple hair and stuff. Try it, maybe, if you want. If you saw it and you liked it, maybe you should try it. Maybe I'll try it on my next drawing. I have a drawing that I'm working on. I think it actually looked really cool because it's like robotsy. Yeah. But yeah, that's it for today's stream, guys. Solis, we also have a submission from you, and so from you, Sonic, we're gonna get to them next stream. Remember, all of the ones that we didn't get this stream, we're gonna do for the next. Let's remember all of our submissions. We have Fumi. Thank you so much, Fumi, for your submission. With all of your cool high school friends, the cute little group. Just keep last week though. So much hate. Listen. Sorry, I'm sorry. I am just a little shrimp. I'm just a little shrimp. We got Gabe as well with his happy birthday Sayori art, right? Think positive. She's drinking coffee outside. And we got Lat with his cool drawing Badass Monica that we turned into the Epiphany. The drawings, thank you so much to all of you for your submissions. The drawings that we didn't get to today, we're gonna get to next week. Saturday, this is the dedicated day for these artworks. Do you do horse anatomy? Asking for a friend. No, but we could learn. Let's learn horse anatomy. Anatomy, in the end, is just shapes that go together and how they look from different angles. That's all it is. That's all it is. And, well, learning how they move and how they look when they move. Horse anatomy, Brony. But yeah, the drawings that we didn't get to, we're gonna get to next week. Saturday is the art tips day for everyone. We go a little bit earlier so that, we all can get our art tips no matter the time zone. My friend really likes horses. I wonder what friend is that? It's definitely not the one that's been uploading a bunch of horse drawings in the shrimp tank. They eat the apple. If you want to see your art being showcased here, you can either use the hashtag on Twitter, hashtag PoppyHelp. I think that's how I named it. It's on my pinned. I swear I looked at it. It's hashtag PoppyHelp. Or you can join the shrimp tank. Link in the description and here in the chat. Right here in the chat. I'm pointing at the chat over there. Well, up here, I guess, from my screen. You can go to the link in the description. Be sure to grab the artist role, and then you get to access the channel that's called Art Help Submissions. And that way you can get featured in the Saturday streams. Again, thank you so much, guys, for your submissions. Thank you so much for staying with me and for talking with me about art and symbolism and storytelling and light. Let there be light. Let there be light. Don't shy away from the light in your drawings. Use it and learn to use it well. Be coherent. Use it to your advantage to tell a story. Thank you so much, guys. Stay shrimp. Don't shower. Sleep a lot. Hunch a lot. And remember to kidnap one of your family members and make them do things so you can learn how they look for when you draw. Put them in hats. Put them under lights. Put them doing an activity. Put them against the wall. Put them doing whatever you want, bending their arm weird. And commit that to memory for your next drawing for when you might need it. Thank you so much, guys. Study your artists, study your storytelling. There's so many things that we learned on this stream with the rule of cool. Man. Speaking of Horse and Girls, by start of next week, I'm gonna watch the first 5 episodes of Uma Musume. I never played that game before. It's a really pretty game. I honestly didn't like the normal anime. I really like Cinderella Grey. You guys should watch Cinderella Grey right now. But anyways, bye everyone, and Anna the Big Shrimp. Quincy, stay shrimp and stay rave. Thank you guys so much. Very enjoyable and helpful stream. Thank you so much, Infi. I hope we can see you here more times. I really like your art. Well, thank you all so much. See you guys later. Enjoy your weekend. Bye bye.